We are going to begin by the successor agency to the Norwalk redevelopment regular meeting. And can I get a roll call, please?
Agency members Perez,
Here.
Ramirez,
Here.
Valencia,
Here.
Vice Chair Ayala,
Here.
and Chair Rios.
Here. Consent calendar. I have 2 items. Do I hear a motion in a second?
Move it. Second.
Okay. Do we
Roll
need a roll call for
Yeah.
that one? Okay, roll call, please.
Agency members Perez,
Aye.
Ramirez,
Aye.
Valencia,
Aye.
Vice Chair Ayala,
Aye.
Chair Rios.
Aye. Is there an executive director's report this evening? No report. How about oral communications? Are there any speakers wishing to speak on the successor agency portion of this meeting? No? Okay, and with that, I will adjourn the successor agency portion of this meeting, and we will go right into our normally scheduled Norwalk City Council on today, June 4th, 2024. And this evening, we have the pleasure of welcoming Pastor McKibben to lead us in the invocation. If you would please, Pastor, come to the podium while I share a few comments to introduce you. This evening, we've privileged to have Pastor McKibben lead the invocation. Pastor McKibben has been serving the community of Norwalk since 2006 as a senior pastor in his ministry. Since 2018, he took on the role of executive pastor. He is also a Norwalk resident since 2006. Recently, Pastor McKibben is excited to share that their church renovation is now completed with a brand new building. Which is great because they now have a new renovated home to gather the Norwalk and Lomrada community together.
Yes.
In his free time, Pastor McKibben spends the moments with his family. In fact, they are looking forward to expecting a grandbaby in August of this year.
First one.
I have 3, so you are in for a treat. Oh my gosh, so much love. Pastor McKibben, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your commitment and dedication to our community. And whenever you're ready, we'd be honored if you led us in the invocation.
Amen. Thank you so much. Dear Lord, as we gather together today for the City Council meeting, we ask for your guidance and your blessing upon the decisions that are needed to be made today. Lord, thank you for our City Council. Cover them with your grace and your wisdom as they represent the families, businesses, and the nonprofit organizations in our community, as they seek to serve us with wisdom and compassion. In your word it is written in Galatians 5:13, "For you are called to freedom, brothers, only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another." Lord, help us to always remember the needs of our residents, our businesses, and our nonprofits. May we all work together in unity and cooperation for the betterment of our city. And Proverbs 11:25 reminds us, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." We pray for financial blessings on our residents and the businesses and nonprofits that serve our community. May they prosper and thrive, allowing us to continue to support those in need. As our council leadership discusses and deliberates today, may we all be guided by your wisdom and discernment. Proverbs 2:6-8 assures us, "For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk in integrity, guarding the paths of justice and watching over the way of his saints." We ask for your presence tonight, Lord, to be felt in this meeting, guiding our council's hearts and minds as they seek to make decisions that will positively impact the lives of those they serve. And may your hand of protection be on all of our first responders that answer the call for help, especially here in Norwalk. I ask these in your holy name. Amen.
City Council meeting. Your faith and guidance make our community a better place. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, thank you, Pastor McKibben. Next, we are going to have a special guest lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd like to ask Ricky Ramirez to please come forward to the podium while I introduce you. Yeah, maybe like 50 years ago. Welcome, Ricky. Ricky is 9 years old and in the fourth grade at New Harvest Christian School. When he grows up, he dreams of becoming a firefighter. Ricky loves trying out new activities in Norwalk and is considering taking golf lessons at the Norwalk Golf Course. In his spare time, he enjoys piano lessons and singing with the choir. He also stays active by playing baseball with Norwalk Pony at Hollyfield Park. Thank you, Ricky, for joining us today. We're very honored that you're our guest. And whenever you're ready, please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ricky, I have for you a special certificate of recognition on behalf of the City of Norwalk and all of us here on the City Council. We want to thank you for reciting the Pledge of Allegiance during our June 4th, 2024 City Council meeting. Your leadership and courage make our community a better place, and we can't wait to see what you do as you grow up. Fulfill your dreams of becoming a firefighter, but for now, just have fun, enjoy being a kid. Okay. All right, City Clerk, would you please help me with the roll call?
Councilmembers Perez,
Here.
Ramirez,
Here.
Valencia,
Here.
Vice Mayor Ayala,
Here.
Mayor Rios.
Here. Okay, closed session report, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. The record should reflect that the City Council, with all 5 members being present, recessed into closed session this evening for a discussion of the one item under conference with legal counsel, existing litigation. With that matter, the City Council received a briefing. There was no action taken on that matter that needs to be reported at this time. And that concludes my report from closed session.
Okay, thank you to our city attorney. We'll now proceed with our city council comments, and we'll begin this evening with Vice Mayor Tony Ayala.
Thank you, Mayor. I came in late last meeting, and we were just kind of finishing up oral communication, city council comment. So I just wanted to, I was remiss if I didn't say congratulations to our Jennifer Perez for being selected as the president of Contract Cities. You know, it's a big deal, and it's something very prestigious for our city in terms of its visibility and all kinds of things. Plus, it makes her an effective advocate for the whole community on state matters and stuff like that. So, congratulations, Jim.
Thank you.
Second thing I'd like to talk about is what an outstanding program we had on Sunday with 5K. Congratulations to Recreation and to everybody involved in that, because I know it's all hands on deck. And it was really outstanding. It's apparently not our first, but we haven't had one for a long, long time. And most people made comments to me, and that I talked to were saying that they had participated in these in the local cities, and that ours was far better than any of the other ones. And it was essentially our first time out. So I thought that was really good. The other thing that speaks to just the great job that Recreation does is you got to figure that 3 or 4 weeks ago they were in working with Contract Cities for that event, and then it was a multi-day thing. They put that down, they came back to Norwalk, and they pulled that off. So it's kudos to you and the whole department, and like I said, public services, public safety, communications, everybody that was involved in making that such a outstanding event. I guess Jesus will see the video on that next meeting
For
the 5K.
the 5K.
No, I think it's too
Yes.
quick to do it tonight.
Next meeting.
Anyway, so yeah, I hope everybody pays attention, because it's it's a great program. I see here too that I hit some things on Contract Cities too. There's a lot of activities going on, and this is just the beginning of summer. We haven't even got into the concerts and the stuff on Front Street, but it's a very busy time of the year for rec, and you got to be thankful for for Mr. Ramos and Mr. Gomez that do so much to make sure that these programs come to pass. Lastly, what I'd like to do is I'd like to wish all the fathers a happy Father's Day, and hope you have a restful weekend, and enjoy yourself. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Next, I'd like to ask Councilwoman Valencia.
Thank you. I went to the last of the trainings for the City Council Academy with the LA County Sheriff's training that I've been doing, and it was fantastic. We were over at the Sheriff's Center in East LA, off of Eastern and near Cal State LA, around that area. And we did some scenarios on how, based on some of the actual experiences that our sheriffs have had. And our sheriffs, thank you so much. Noe, thank you so much, Sheriff, for all that you do. We were informed that they are very understaffed and that they do what they can with however much energy and manpower and well people power, excuse me, that they have. So our eyes were open. We were given lots of information, but one of the main things that we got out of the whole sessions, the 4 sessions, is that they definitely are understaffed, and that to please pass on the importance of recruitment and just letting the folks know they're out there recruiting. They're out there trying to get people in to fill spots because, well, for various reasons, right? We won't get into that. So that's one thing. But we were able to really get a glimpse, just a tiny glimpse of what you all go through or what you've been through. And one of the things that we did was we looked at some of the ammunition that they have this last time, ammunition, and the ones that don't have the actual regular bullets, but instead they have the bean bags. They have Noe, please help me with some of the terminology here. I'm sorry? Yes. Yeah, some of those, they look like shotguns almost, but they give like a plastic type of pellets. Yes, like a big rubber bullet, and then so that's basically to not kill, but to stop a perpetrator from doing what they're doing, from continuing, and to stop them so that they can, investigate, apprehend, what have you. It was very, it was a lot of work. I got to practice shooting as well, and I gotta say, I'm actually a pretty good shot. So it was quite eye opening. I haven't been practice shooting in years and years and years, and I have a family of hunters, and they would take us when we were kids. So it was quite interesting, but I've always had a respect for our law enforcement, for our public safety, but now I got to see a lot more closely what it is that you've gone through, and I'm definitely going to be spreading the word. I'm definitely an advocate for more sheriffs, and hope that we can spread the word as well. And they're going to be sending us some information, some of those recruiting fairs, so that we can possibly share that as well with our within our city social media. The next thing I want to say is, of course, Sunday, June 2nd was absolutely fantastic. I thought I was going to, I had my walking shoes on because I was not going to run. But my goodness, all we could, I got so excited with the passing out of the medals and the start races and all this that, I was just like, wow, I was just happy to be able to be a part of it. And so thank you to all public safety, parks and recreation, the staff, everybody that was involved. It was a fantastic event, very professional, and we got lots of feedback, positive feedback. My own school where I teach had a team going, and then Team Nimitz was there, and they loved it. The only thing they said, we should have maybe a little bit more bathrooms. That was the thing. But everything else, fantastic. All the activities and everything was great. I want to give a shout out and congratulations because you did it. Our city manager, Jesus Gomez, ran that 5K. He made really good time too. And I saw Councilmember Tony Ayala and his lovely wife Karen. My goodness, you guys are my heroes. They did it. They were just like, hey. And Tony, you and your operations and everything, you were still out there. And he did not even break a sweat. He did not look tired. But well, you didn't look it. But you did it. And I was so proud of you and so happy for you. And of course, Commissioner Gina Ayala Corona. can we call it? Okay. His daughter and her husband, they also did it. Commissioners, oh, and your son. Yeah, that's right. He was there too. Commissioners Ali Hernandez, Steve Garcia, and his lovely girlfriend. And there were a few other commissioners that Anthony Armendariz, did he run it as well? No, he was helping. Yeah. But these are people that actually did the actual 5K. They walked or they ran. Very cool. So can't wait to the next one. And it is going to be, I posted it and I said, our first annual. And of course, my English, teacher friends, there's no such thing as first annual, because annual gives the impression that it's continuous, and it was our first. So I quickly, fixed that. But it will be our annual one from now on. And it's fantastic. Can't wait. All right. The other thing I want to also say is congratulations to all of those students who are going to be promoting from pre-K, kindergarten, elementary promotions, middle school culminations, and of course, high school graduates. And yes, let's give them a round of applause. From our Little Lake School District and the Norwalk La Mirada Unified School District, all of our students are just opening up the doors to their life with many opportunities to come. And, we invite you to give us a call, to give us an email, because you never know how we can be of service. Letters of recommendation, openings for jobs, openings for, ¿cómo se llaman? The ones without pay, and then they come and volunteer and stuff. Anyway, there's all kinds of positions that you can build your resume upon, right? And lots of resources. So please give us a call. Let us know how you're doing, what you're doing, and so we can help each other. Okay? All right. Thank you. That's all for me.
Thank you. Councilwoman Jennifer Perez.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. And I'll echo all the comments that have been made. Happy Father's Day. Congratulations on promotions and graduations. It is the first of the month, so that means newsletters are out. Make sure you grab your child development newsletter, our social services newsletter, and our Norwalk Senior Center newsletter. Those are the three that I have with me today. Tony had talked about activities. There is so much stuff in here. So please, please, please make sure you grab your newsletters. Our recreation brochure is out or coming out soon with all of the summer activities, classes, you name it. There's always something going on. Spray pools, all that kind of good stuff. The one thing I really want to make sure that we pay attention to is our Norwalk Now. It is sent home to every single mailing address in the city of Norwalk. There are extra copies at our businesses, at our chamber offices, etc. Please grab your Norwalk Now. There's information on our dates and the bands that will be playing at our summer concerts. There's information on our summer beach bus. One thing that I do want to highlight right now is our City Independence Day celebration. It is going to be held this year on July 2nd. So please make sure you write that date down. It's July 2nd, Tuesday, July 2nd, not July 3rd. There is a big, big change there. So make sure you have that down on your calendar. You do not want to miss that at all. Congratulations to all of our participants and our runners in the 5K. My son was there as well, and I don't know how he did it. He is not a runner, but apparently he enjoyed it. So who knows what happens next. What I would like to do now, Mayor, if you don't mind my last comment, I am going to ask our Deputy City Manager, Mr. Ramos. We did have a power outage in the city today that specifically occurred because of an environmental effect. Can you please share a little bit about what that effect was and what the result was and how we're suffering with no power in a portion of our city?
Yeah, thank you for that. So we did have a power outage over in the area of Foster and Bloomfield earlier this morning, and the preliminary investigation revealed that the outage may have been caused by a Mylar balloon up in the air. I do want to acknowledge the great work from staff, our public safety officers, the sheriff's department, fire department responded. It was a very collaborative effort. We communicated very well with our school district and making sure our kids were good. But I'd also remind the public to, with the graduation season, that if we're using those type of balloons, just be mindful when we let those go in the air. They could create a large problem. And lastly, we're working to restore power as we speak.
Thank you, Ozzy. I would even go one step further and say, don't release them in the air. Period. Don't do it. Don't release them in the air. It causes massive injuries, massive inconvenience to businesses and residents. Even started a very small fire. Thankfully, our first responders did put it out. So please be mindful of that, and spread the word. Share that with friends and family. We do not want it could have been way worse than what it was. So again, thank you to all those that were involved. Ozzy, please share my thanks to the entire team. It's just something that we need to be mindful of. Thank you. That's it, Mayor.
She did say that. Councilmember Rick Ramirez.
You all are very lucky this evening because I had so much to say and talk about, but for obvious reasons, I'm going to piggyback on what they said tonight. So, welcome and have a good night.
What a treat. No, we hope that you feel better soon. Yeah, because that's not good. But we're glad that you're here. Okay, I want to welcome everyone to our meeting this evening. Thank you for taking the time to join us. We appreciate that you make that time, knowing that you can use your time for anything else, and we know how precious time is, but you chose to be here and hear about some of the great stuff happening in our city, as well as participate in our meeting in one form or another. So thank you so much for that. I do also want to congratulate all of the graduates. I know it's graduation season, and it's just so much fun. You know, these graduates have worked so hard to get to this point, and I love graduations because I feed off that excitement, from the students and, the parents. They're so proud. They're so proud. It's such a proud, happy, memorable moment. So congratulations to all of our high school graduates. This has been a very, not just a busy weekend, but very busy several weeks here in the city of Norwalk with all the different activities and meetings and other responsibilities that we have as a leadership team that we do on a daily basis. But I do want to share that on Friday we had the community promotion, our commissioners meet and greet, and that went very well. That was Friday evening here at the sports complex, and that was an opportunity for our commissioners to gather, meet a new friend, make a new friend, talk about the different things going on in the city. We had presentations from our community development, our public safety, and we had one more. What was our third presentation, Ozzy? On Friday we had public safety, community development. We had one more. Public
services.
Public services. Thank you. Yes, public services. So they shared information with the commissioners on whether we're working on improving our streets, implementation of our quadrants and community policing, and the different developments, economic developments coming into our city. And our request of our commissioners during that meet and greet was to help us be positive ambassadors in the city and spread the good word. Spread the positive stuff that's happening in the city of Norwalk so that more people hear about how we are making significant improvements for everybody. Over the weekend on Saturday, I did participate in the Gear Up program, asked me to be their keynote speaker. This event was held at John Glenn, and this is a great program that the district, Norwalk Lumberada District, has in collaboration with Cal State Long Beach, Go Beach. I am an alumni, and so they work with our middle schools. And so the reason I mention this is because if you have a middle school student or you know someone in those grades, that you let them know that there's an opportunity for them to partner with Cal State Long Beach through their Gear Up program. And what they do is they follow these kids through middle to high school completion and eventually on to college, if that is their desire. So it's a great program. That Saturday morning, the students presented their boards on what they wanted their future to look like and why. So they explained whether they wanted to be an attorney or a doctor or a teacher. They defined their values, their value system, and why that particular career they chose and why it was important to them. And it was interesting. I read one particular one, and he basically chose his career as a therapist because he wanted to make people happy. I said, well, that's a pretty good reason. So it was really refreshing interacting with our youth there, our middle school students who will be starting high school in the fall. So that was great. That same afternoon, we had at Front Street, historical Front Street, our chamber hosted their spring festival. Great turnout on vendors, performances, activities for everyone, food. So anytime we can celebrate on our historical Front Street is a good time. So that was a very, very good event for our community. On Sunday, as was already mentioned, our 5K, big kudos to our Park and Rec. Alan and your team did phenomenal at planning, strategizing, implementing the execution. Nothing but positive comments. I know we had, I think the last number was about 1,400 registered. And I didn't realize that we were capturing drone footage. And if you watch that, it's like, oh my gosh, amazing, amazing. And I think it totally satisfied, the community engagement piece that we aim for on the council and our leadership team. Get our community engaged, offer them something to rally around and have fun and meet their neighbors and be part of this beautiful community that we are, and emphasizing the health and wellness. Key, very, very important. And the run, I was so happy to see that it was all ages participating, all levels of running or walking or fitness, but everyone was having a good time. It was great. It really, really was. And so thank you. I had a great time. I know the community. I mean, I think they're still raving about it on social media. So that's always good when we get positive feedback. I love it. And I can't wait for the next one. I know also we recently celebrated Public Works Week. And I just want to give our Public Works Department one more shout out because they really are the employees who are the boots on the ground, fixing our potholes, cutting our trees, cleaning up the graffiti, keeping our parks and other roadways and spaces clean. They really do quite a bit to just keep the city running clean and safe. And so I just want to give them another recognition for all of their hands-on work that they do every day to make Norwalk look good. So thank you to them. And let me see. Councilwoman Perez mentioned July 2nd. And we have also our Front Street Friday events coming up. July 19th, Dance Revolution. August 16th, Soto Band. September 20th, Latina Divas Show Las Colibri. So, as was mentioned, we do a really good job at sharing this information through our social media platforms, bulletins and newsletters and Norwalk Now. Please come out. If you're not there, you're going to miss a good time, an opportunity to interact, be part of the community that I believe that we all love and want to see thrive and prosper. So I can't wait to see many of you at our upcoming events. Okay, that's all I have for this evening. We're going on to special presentations. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, okay, the first one here. So City Council to recognize John Glenn High School employee for 35 years of service. It's an honor to recognize a truly remarkable individual who has dedicated 35 years of service to John Glenn High School. Please join me in recognizing Wesley Clifford Phillips. Wesley, why don't you come up to the podium? I know you ain't shy, so come on up. If you know Wesley, we know he ain't shy. Right at the podium, sir, while I share a little bit about you. Mr. Phillips began his journey for the Norwalk community on September 12, 1988. Ooh, 1988 was a good year. That's when I graduated high school. Wesley has been a coach, security assistant, and plant protection officer at John Glenn High School. Over the years, he has become a beloved local legend among staff, students, parents, and alumni. Throughout his career, Wesley has made numerous contributions to our school community. He started the popular ping pong competitions, served as a DJ for school dances, pep rallies, and PA announcements. He created Wesley's Workout and even took on the role of junk food police. Well, we need that around here. His creativity and enthusiasm have enriched the lives of countless students and colleagues. Today, we want to formally recognize Wesley for his unwavering dedication and positive impact on John Glenn High School and the Norwalk community, and particularly every single student that went through those doors. Thank you, Wesley. I know two of my oldest sons graduated from John Glenn, 09 and 11, and Wesley was right there. And as I was commenting to some of his peer colleagues, Wesley hasn't changed one bit. I don't know what it must be that living the dream, right, Wesley? Okay. Wesley, we thank you. And we want to show our token of appreciation for your service and your commitment and it being an inspiration to your peer colleagues and everyone in our community. We'd also like to acknowledge the community school specialist, Francis Valdez, who helped organize this recognition. Francis, thank you. And at this time, colleagues, if you please join me and we'll memorialize this moment with a few pictures. Wesley, before we honor you with this recognition, is there something you'd like to share for the good of the group here?
Yes, my colleagues over here, bunch of liars. They say we're going to a meeting. Oh my God. I love you guys. I really do. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, listen. This is my last year here. I'm calling it quits. I don't know. 35 years is long enough for me, and I'm just trying to enjoy life. But this group right here, an entire John Glenn community and staff, they've been amazing to me, and I'm really as excited as I am about my new chapter of life. I'm so sad because I'm not going to see these faces every day. Our principal, she is the most caring woman. You guys don't know. You got to live it to know. And our new principals, just this group here, supporting me, sneaking around. They threw me a party a couple of weeks ago, a surprise party. They just show so much love, and I'm glad to be a part of John Glenn, and I'm glad I know you for a long time too. Yeah. So, but yes, I'm happy to be, starting a new chapter of life. But I really am going to miss John Glenn, the students, and the staff. Thank you, guys.
All right. Receiving a commendation is pretty special. So today, whereas Wesley Clifford Phillips began his dedicated service to John Glenn High School on September 12, 1988, over his illustrious career spanning 35 years, Wesley has held various roles within the institution. Wesley has left a mark on the school through his numerous accomplishments, whereas Wesley Clifford Phillips has become a beloved local legend. Now, therefore, I, Margarita Rios, Mayor of the City of Norwalk, on behalf of Vice Mayor Tony Ayala and my fellow council members Jennifer Perez, Rick Ramirez, and Ana Valencia, do hereby commend Wesley Clifford Phillips for his service and leadership to the community. "35 years sure does go by quick. Enjoy." All right, our second presentation, we are recognizing our 2024 Athens Scholarship winners. The City of Norwalk is excited to introduce the 2024 Athens Environmental Awareness Scholarship winners. This is in partnership with Athens Services and the Norwalk Education Alliance. These scholarships are awarded to high school seniors who are active in their community and show interest in environmental issues. Each scholarship is worth $1,000. To be eligible, applicants must be a senior from a public or private high school, reside in the City of Norwalk, and have a minimum 2.0 GPA. They also had to submit a completed application, an essay, and an official transcript with their GPA. The Norwalk Education Alliance Committee reviewed all applications and recommended candidates to the Norwalk City Council. Council members then selected the top 5 winners based on GPA, their essay, and extracurricular volunteer activities. Very important. The scholarship money can be used towards tuition or school-related expenses at any college, university, or trade school. Let's give them a big round of applause. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Council, if you can please meet me here in front of the dais, and our city manager, Jesus Gomez, will assist us by introducing each winner one at a time. Get ready.
Yes, my pleasure. And first of all, congratulations to all the graduates. We are very proud of you, being residents of the city of Norwalk. You are the future leaders that your day begins today with this scholarship to begin paying for your college education. So the first one, Aaliyah Garcia from Santa Fe High School. Aaliyah will be pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Public Health from Cal State University Fullerton. Her aspirations are to continue to USC's dental school to pursue a long-term career in dental hygiene.
Okay, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you.
Next, we have Ashley Diaz from Santa Fe High School. She will be pursuing an architecture AS from Rio Hondo College. Her educational goals include transferring to Cal Poly Pomona to obtain a Bachelor in Science in Landscape Architecture. Her dream is to become a landscape architect. Next, we have Eileen Diaz, John Glenn High School. She plans to obtain a Bachelor of Arts in Social Work. Her educational goals include obtaining her educational goals include obtaining a Master's in Social Work to then pursue a career as a clinical social worker. Next, we have Jeanette Rayo Salazar, Southeast Academy High School. She will be pursuing a political science Bachelor of Arts at UC Santa Cruz. Her educational goals include focusing on international relations. And next we have Natalie Arredondo, Norwalk High School. Natalie is not able to join us because she is attending her graduation tonight. Natalie will be pursuing a human biology Bachelor of Science at USC. Her dream is to be a cancer researcher and help people. Congratulations to the scholarship winners and also to the Education Alliance who coordinated all of this for us and has recommended these students to you, the City Council, and you, the City Council, has nominated them to tonight's scholarship award.
Perfect, thank you.
So we're going to select these. Oh, okay. Oh, well, good. You get to keep it? Yeah, no, we're going to give it to official. If you're a parent here, These students, can you stand and be recognized for their support? To all of our scholarship winners, congratulations once again. We really wish you nothing but the best. Remember, Norwalk is always your home and family, and if there's ever anything that we can do to support your success in the future, we are here. And to all the parents, a los padres que están aquí apoyando a sus hijos, hijas, también le doy las felicitaciones a ustedes por el trabajo que han hecho con ellas, porque es muy importante esa unidad de la familia, el apoyo y que las apoyen a que sigan sus sueños de la educación y una carrera exitosa. Gracias. I believe we are now at our city manager comments.
Yes.
Mr. Gomez? Okay.
Thank you very much, Mayor Rios and members of the City Council. I'd like to start out with an item that we are very happy to announce. We are celebrating our 50th anniversary for our senior center. And in preparation for our senior center, we're going to be doing some major remodeling in the interior and the exterior. And so we will be closing for the month of July the Social Services Center. We will have information for you as to where to go for services, where to go to obtain other items that you may have received in social services. But for sure, we will have our nutrition program be moved to the senior center, and we will have some minimal services at the senior center, but mostly it'll be closed to be able to remodel the center. Our employees will be relocated to different facilities. We have the Arts and Sports Complex, we have the City Hall, and we also have, what's the other facility? Arts and Sports Complex, Senior Center. Yeah, so those three centers in the city, or two centers in City Hall, will be available for staff, and we will provide additional information for that. But know that the 50th anniversary is coming for the Social Services Center, and we are going to be celebrating and inviting the community to join us. Next, we have a couple of videos. We have the California Contract Cities Association Conference Recap. And with that, if we can play the video.
Renaissance Esmeralda in Indian Wells, attending the California Contract Cities Annual Municipal Seminar. The Annual Municipal Seminar for Contract Cities brings over 80 cities together to include vendors, contractors, supervisors, elected officials to really talk about issues that mean the most and matter to our local city, the city of Norwalk. So this year at the California Contract Cities 65th Annual Municipal Seminar, I was installed as the president for California Contract Cities. This is actually pretty special and the first of its kind because I am the 6th president from the city of Norwalk to represent this beautiful association. Just know, whether we are in Norwalk, we were at a conference, we are in Sacramento, or when we travel to DC, we are always fighting for our residents and for the businesses in the city of Norwalk.
And as it was mentioned, this is a prestigious position that our Councilwoman Perez holds. Out of the 88 cities in LA County, 80 are part of the Contract Cities Association. So it speaks volumes when we're in Sacramento, specifically for legislation to either be in favor or oppose or even recommend legislation. So know that the city of Norwalk is the lead in these efforts. So thank you for the time spent in leading contract cities. Our next video is Memorial Day, and we had a great event. Those of you who attended, just a very memorable event for all of us, and just honoring our heroes. So with that, we have a video to share with you.
Good morning and welcome to the Norwalk Memorial Day ceremony. Today, we pay tribute to the men and women that put our lives before theirs to guarantee the freedoms that we enjoy today. Active service, retired military, family, and friends have come together to pay tribute to our dear fallen heroes. Let's give them a round of applause. God bless America and God bless the city of Norwalk. Thank you.
Again, just a great event for our community in partnership with the American Legion. Next, we have the biweekly video for our city of the past events for these past 2 weeks. With that.
Commissioners met at the Sproul Barn for updates on park projects, street improvements, community development, and the Quadrant Policing Program on May 31st. The event fostered meaningful discussions and enhanced collaboration. On Saturday, June 1st, Cal State Long Beach hosted the Gear Up event, bringing students together for inspiration and empowerment. Mayor Rios took the stage and delivered an inspiring speech about aligning values with career choices. The Norwalk Chamber hosted its Spring Festival on June 2nd, offering something for all ages, including food trucks, vendors, and a kids zone. Mayor Margarita Rios attended the festival and spoke to residents of the community. On June the 2nd, up to 2,500 people gathered in Norwalk for the city's first 5K run and 1K children's dash. Participants ran and took part in various activities, while the Runners Village provided resources, fostering a strong sense of community spirit. A big thank you to our event sponsors and to all the attendees who joined us for this historic event.
Thank you. Great events. That concludes my comments. Thank you.
Okay, next, I'd like to introduce our director's report, and this evening we will hear from our Human Resources Department.
Good evening, Mr. Gomez, Mayor Rios, and members of the City Council. If we can go to the next slide, please. Welcome to the Human Resources. The Human Resources Department at the City of Norwalk, led by a team of dedicated and accomplished women, prioritizes inclusive policies and equitable practices to support diverse needs of all employees and external stakeholders. As part of the city's strategic plan goal, HR's mission is to provide high-quality customer service by providing customer service training to all Norwalk employees to enhance communication with the community, other agencies, and internally among staff. Next slide, please. HR's organizational chart comprises 5 full-time staff: the director of HR, the risk manager, HR manager, 2 senior human resources analysts, and an HR technician. We also have 1 part-time office assistant too, and in addition, HR has a budget for intern positions for the city of Norwalk. Next slide, please. I will go over the following. Labor and Employee Relations, Recruitment and Selection, Employee Benefits Administration, Employee Training and Development, Health and Safety, Compensation and Benefits, Risk Management, Celebration and Employee Recognition Programs. Next slide, please. The City of Norwalk engages in collective bargaining with labor unions and has established labor agreement covering wages, benefits, working conditions, and other terms of employment. Specific policies and procedures are in place to address labor relations issues, including grievance procedures, dispute resolution mechanisms, and compliance with employment laws. The city promotes employee engagement and open communication and has conflict resolution procedures in place, including mediation and arbitration. Additionally, the city uses performance management systems to evaluate employee performance and support professional development. Next slide, please. Recruitment and selection. For the fiscal year 23-24, HR held 79 recruitments, and let me remind you that the fiscal year is not over. Out of those 79 recruitments, 47 were full-time recruitments and 32 were part-time. HR has hired approximately 135 employees, which includes full-time, part-time, summer youth workers, and seasonal staff for our summer programming. I am thrilled to share that 36 out of the 135 new hires have been promotional opportunities, reflecting a remarkable 26% promotional rate. This is a testament to our team's commitment to nurturing and developing our talent, and I couldn't be any prouder of our city employees. The behind-the-scene recruitment and selection process entails diligence, attention to detail, integrity, and a lot of patience. I am proud to work alongside 5 beautiful, hardworking women who perform their duties proudly. Next slide, please. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, also known as DEI, is a framework that promotes fair treatment and full participation of all people, especially those historically underrepresented or discriminated against due to background, identity, or disability. Obviously, the City of Norwalk takes that seriously, and we promote diversity, great organizational reputation, proper development opportunities, and high employee engagement. Next slide, please. The City of Norwalk offers employees health benefits insurance, dental and vision coverage, retirement plans, life and disability insurance, flexible spending accounts, wellness programs, and employee assistance programs. HR ensures that we are in compliance with legal requirements. As HR, we oversee the enrollment process and provide educational resources for our employees. Additionally, we manage benefit providers, ensure compliance with laws, and offer employee assistance programs. Effectively managing employee benefits administration enhances employee satisfaction, attracts top talent, and we support workforce well-being and financial security for our employees. Next slide, please. The city's HR professionals and departmental managers collaborate to access and implement training needs. We design them with training in mind, and we deliver them through various methods, whether it be on demand, in person, webinar, etc. The training covers technical and professional skills, leadership and management development, compliance, career advancement, and fosters a culture of continuous learning. We prioritize employee training and development to improve performance and public service delivery. HR professionals provide strategic leadership, talent management, and support organizational development while collaborating with the California Joint Powers Insurance Authority, also known as the JPIA, to address risks and implement best practices for effective risk mitigation. The next slide, please. You will see in-depth look at the 2023 calendar year citywide trainings, just to name a few. As a testament to the city's unwavering commitment to employee development and community service, we have conducted over 50 employee training sessions with over 1,600 employment participating rate. The city is fortunate to work again with the JPIA, our risk management experts, who provide policy implementation, staff training, and operational guidance. that support proactive efforts to mitigate the risk. Various labor attorneys and appropriate expert matters, which also allow us to expand our knowledge and handle difficult, sensitive, and confidential situations in our work environment. Per the JPIA, and I quote, the city of Norwalk was one of the highest participating cities in the 2023 calendar year. And that is thanks to all of our city employees, to the city managers, to council for supporting our staff and our HR staff for making this happen. So thank you all for that support. Next slide, please. On this pie chart, you'll be able to see the highly participated trainings, team and communication skills with 30%, public services topics with 27%, safety with 17%, best practices and compliance with 10% each, and policy review with 6%. Next slide, please. The HR department is responsible for developing health and safety policies, coordinating training programs, managing workers' compensation cases, and conducting workplace investigations and inspections. HR also oversees accident investigations, works closely with safety committees and with the emergency preparedness team. HR promotes employee health and wellness, provides guidance on ergonomic best practices, monitors compliance with regulations, and offers access to employee assistance programs. And I know I sound like a broken record with that, but that is very crucial for the City of Norwalk employees and their families. By prioritizing health and safety initiatives through the HR office, the City of Norwalk demonstrates its commitments to protecting employees, reducing workplace injuries and illnesses, and fostering a culture of safety and well-being throughout this organization. Next slide, please. HR professionals evaluate and classify jobs. We manage performance-based pays, oversee benefits administration, negotiate salaries during negotiations, and we communicate compensation policies. Continuing evaluation and improvement are essential. One of our notable accomplishments in the fiscal year 23-24 was a successful implementation of an electronic performance evaluation program called Perform. Our HR manager worked very diligently. It took approximately a year and a half, but we've got it working. And this has streamlined the employee evaluation process significantly by improving efficiency and effectiveness. As part of goals 1 and 2 in the City of Norwalk strategic plan, HR strives to attract, retain, and motivate talented workforce while ensuring compliance with fiscal responsibility and its compensation practices. With this in mind, we, the City of Norwalk, provide high-quality customer service to the community, and we work in partnership with our community to create a safe and livable neighborhoods. Next slide, please. The City of Norwalk identifies and assesses potential risks across various areas of the operations and collaborates on risk mitigation strategies. It procures insurance coverage to protect against potential losses and liabilities. The city also ensures compliance with laws and regulations and continuously monitors and reports on risk management activities. By proactively managing risks, the City of Norwalk can minimize potential disruptions, protect public resources, and enhance resilience in the face of uncertainty, ultimately contributing to the city's long-term sustainability and success. Next slide, please. We also, as HR, have the privilege of planning special celebrations and employee recognition programs such as the International Women's Day, the Halloween Employee Luncheon, Wellness Benefits Fair, random employee appreciation luncheons, which some of you have participated, and employee service award recognition. These events highlight the commitments and years of service our employees have dedicated to our community. Next slide, please. It's been a pleasure speaking tonight about the HR practices and responsibility in the beautiful city of Norwalk. We play a vital role in ensuring the well-being and successes of employees and the organization. I am very proud of my team, proud of Yesenia Sanchez, Marisol Lopez, Maria Barrera, Catalina Escobedo, and Lisette Torres, who definitely make HR positive. We try our best every single day, and we serve the entire city and the community proudly. So I thank you for your time this evening, and I'm available for any questions.
I've got something.
My apologies, there's a video for us to share.
Can I make a quick comment there?
Yes, go ahead.
Uh, I want to say this because I know we're doing budget tonight, but you know, you as Director of HR, Yana as Director of Finance, Teresa as Director of City Clerk, they're not visible departments, but the reality is you have to do your jobs perfectly, because if you don't, the city can get into some major binds legally in all three areas. And I just want to say that having worked here, I can really appreciate the responsibility that you three have. You're not the ones, you know, gaining the big accolades and stuff like the more visible departments, but nonetheless, you know, you're vital to the city running and running on a straight line. And so I just want to say I appreciate that. You know, keep doing good work, and I'm sure your two colleagues will as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Ayala, and I will make sure to pass on that message.
Thank you, and I just want to add, again, I know I've said this before, but I really have enjoyed our director's reports this year. It was something that I was able to introduce as mayor this year because I think it's so important. As I don't think I need to say anything more. Tony said it very, very well, and so thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Rios.
Okay, we are moving on now to our consent calendar. We have items 1 through 15.
I'll move it.
Second.
Okay,
I got it.
okay. We got a motion and a second. How about roll call?
Council members Perez,
Aye.
Ramirez,
Aye.
Valencia,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Ayala,
Aye.
Mayor Rios.
Aye. Item number 16 is advisory body appointments. Council, is there anyone you wish to appoint at this time to one of our various commissions?
You said 15, right?
16. Huh?
Appointments is 15.
No, it's 16 on mine. What are you talking about?
I don't know. It's the agenda here. 15. Advisory body appointments.
Oh, why am I? Oh, I don't know.
That would be
on
number
mine.
15.
Huh?
Advisory appointments is number 15.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know that.
It's on
I
the
guess
wrong
it's
one.
different from my
Your online agenda.
my online agenda is a little different.
Okay.
Okay, let me
But
see if
do you
I.
guys have any?
Huh?
I think because of the special, the special presentation was not there. So that might be
Okay.
why there's a difference.
So I want to make sure I get it right. Is my online version, the computer version, or this printed version correct? Okay, so then actually there's only 14 items on the consent calendar. Do we need to make that correction? Items 1 through 14. We're okay? Okay,
Yeah,
so
you
then
announced
15. Okay,
is
so
the
then
advisory.
yes,
Okay.
thank you, Anna. 15 is advisory bodies. Is there anyone wishing to make an appointment this evening? Okay, moving on then. Let me follow this printed copy here. So item number 16 is public hearing. Now is the time for a public hearing to consider resolution number 24-24, establishing and adopting the city's annual budget for fiscal year 24-25, amending and adopting the fiscal year 24-25 salary schedule for general and hourly unit employees and executive management and mid-management employees. Public hearing is now open. City Clerk?
Yes, Mayor, members of the City Council. Notice of the item was posted on the city's website and in the Norwalk Patriot and the La Opinion on March 25th. The document was available from March 25th. I'm sorry, am I reading the wrong one? We're doing the budget first, correct? My apologies.
Yeah, the first one is the annual budget fiscal year, resolution 24-24.
Sorry about that. Let me start over. So the FY 24-25 proposed budget document was posted on the city's website on May 22nd for public review. Notice of the public hearing regarding the proposed budget was published in the Norwalk Patriot on May 24th and posted at the city's 3 designated posting places and on the website on May 23rd. And we have no communications.
Okay, thank you, Teresa. Staff report, please.
Yes, Mayor Rios and members of the City Council and our community president and who's watching on TV. Tonight, we present a balanced budget for the City of Norwalk. It is with lots of pride that we present this budget to you and our community. We did present a very detailed budget a week ago, and we do that just so that we could get a basis of the council's direction or your priorities and planning a financial plan for the city beginning July 1st to June 30th of next year. Tonight, we will be presenting a summarized version of that presentation to allow for any additional comments and or input from you and the community. But tonight, we have Ms. Yana Stewart, who will present the budget for you.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Mayor Rios, members of the City Council, we are here at the finishing line of our budget marathon. Not to try to steal the thunder of Recreation Department for the 5K, but we've been in marathon since January. And actually, all the departments and all staff worked very hard from January through April to present and balance the budget. And then the whole month of May was the month of presentations to Finance Ad Hoc Committee and publishing the document for public to review available at City Clerk's office or online version. And then last week, about exactly a week ago, we had a very detailed presentation of this 600 pages document. So here we are presenting to you balanced budget, financial plan for the upcoming fiscal year that takes in consideration and guidance of our goals that have been set by the City Council during the strategic planning, and covers the document and our plan in activities, covers all the 4 major goals of our strategic plan. As Mr. Gomez mentioned, it is balanced budget. It uses various funding sources. Overall operating budget for the entire city, it's about $160 million, out of which about $76 million is general fund funded, and the rest of it are restricted funds, our enterprise funds, and grant funding. We have a very robust capital project plan for the upcoming fiscal years. It's not only 1 year, but it's a multi-year plan that goes on. It's about $135 million funded primarily from restricted funds or our capital reserves. And also, we are replenishing our capital reserves from available general fund balance. So you can see where the money goes and what areas are really covering all strategic plan goals. And this slide also kind of highlights all the major initiatives under each service department that we can see out there in the community, in the streets, in the parks, and in the buses. And so the events that are happening, majority of it are operations that are carry on regular operating activities. I would like to continuing in already established programming. However, I would like to highlight that on social services, we will continue to offer the mentoring program for young women and men that was previously funded from our grant funds. Now it will be funded from general fund. We are also investing more money into assistance into business attraction, retention, expansion program under community development. We are continuing beautification of recreation parks and spaces, and public services continues to provide maintenance of the streets and public spaces and buildings. And of course, public safety continues in their established quadrant patrolling system hand in hand with our sheriff's department, and our homeless outreach under HOPE team continues, and it's funded 50% from ARPA until December, and then for the remainder of the fiscal year from general fund, about $500,000 each. All this is done with about 303 full-time positions, out of which 179 are funded from general fund, and about 370,414 part-time hours, which about 260,000 are funded from general fund. Overall, we are increasing the staffing levels by 10 additional positions citywide. As far as to part-time hours, you can see the trend here as well, that is rising, and the major investment is under recreation department and public safety department in as far as the part-time hours. As I mentioned, we have about 76 carryover capital improvement projects in various areas. As you can see, major investment into our streets as we promised to our voters and our residents, and traffic improvements, park improvements, and facilities beautification and miscellaneous improvements. And only 3 new projects will be added, one underwater and 2 under facilities and miscellaneous improvements. As you may know, all the restricted funds are pretty much self-balanced, and our enterprise funds are also balanced with operating revenues covering operating expenditures. And so I will concentrate only to present general fund balance budget. Everything that was discussed during our presentation a week ago is included in the adopted document, with addition of $5,000 funding, like seed money for the International Friendship Commission. As far as to traffic engineer, we have $130,000 right now available in engineering budget. We established that if we needed to, if needed to increase the frequency by which we need to use their services, this $130,000 will carry us through at least through mid-year. In the meantime, we will evaluate the backlog of our street evaluation cases and traffic cases, and then we will come up with a solution and proposal for City Council if needed sooner than mid-year or at mid-year. So, so the only item that changed the proposed budget is $5,000. So that kind of brought our balanced budget to a little tiny use of operating reserves to the amount of $3,000, which is considered really balanced budget. We will replenish capital reserves by $7.1 million. and we will end up our fund balance at 15.7 million, which is within our fund balance policy, about 1% over, or about $500,000 over. And we will monitor our revenues and our expenditures periodically. We do prepare quarterly reports in finance department, and if needed, we will present the update to City Council at least at mid-year, if needed even sooner. And this slide is a pretty familiar slide, just to tell us where the money comes from what resources. Our property values are very important revenue source for the city, and then sales taxes, followed by utility user tax. This slide tells us where the money goes. As we provide services to our community, about 48% of our operating budget is personnel cost, with all the benefits and retiree payments as well. And second, followed by the Sheriff's Department contract, which is about $18 million funded from general fund. Next slide reflects the priorities of the City Council. This is the same information, $75 million in operating budget, and some money put aside for the reserves, capital reserves, that will be funding capital improvement projects, such as parks and buildings and technology and equipment and so forth. And as you can see, priority number one within our community is public safety, and then public services, meaning maintenance of streets and all the public spaces and public buildings. This is a familiar slide that pretty much digs into more details and shows where we are anticipating starting fiscal year with the fund balance of about $22.6 million. And ending at $15.7 million, as I already mentioned. It's a balanced budget. And that concludes my report. If council doesn't have any other changes that would, or any changes the city council may have, we are requesting an action to adopt resolution number 24-34, establishing and adopting fiscal year 24-25 budget, and also adopt resolution number 24-25 that would adopt the salary schedule for the general unit and hourly employees, as well as the management group. And that concludes my report. And my colleagues are here to answer any questions City Council may have. Thank you.
Before we proceed with council, Teresa, is there anyone wishing to testify on this item? Okay. Seeing that there is no one wishing to speak on this item, I'll now bring it back to council for any questions or discussion.
If nobody has any questions, I'd like to move adoption of resolution 24-24.
I'll second.
Okay.
24-25.
I'll second that one too.
Yes.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmembers Perez,
I'm going to say aye, but I'm also going to say this is one of the most important things that we as a council can do for our city. A huge thank you again to our entire team. Absolutely aye.
Councilmember Valencia,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Ayala,
Aye, and I would like to thank Yana Stewart for her brevity. It's greatly appreciated. To the point. Thank you, Yana. How many years have you been doing this budget?
I think my very first budget was right during the financial crash, 2010, 2011.
Just a couple years.
Yes, I know. Yeah, you've done
We
it.
had to cut 5%, 10%, 40%. Do you remember the exercise? That was horrible.
Yeah, let me tell you, these are good days because most of the time that I worked here, we went into we went into budget looking at cut scenarios, 5, 10, 15% every year, and to give council those options, because we knew we had to cut. It was just a question of whether it was between 5, 10, or 15, and every year. So I mean, it's so nice to be able to do the things we need to do, because we had, as you know, we put those things on hold for many years because there just wasn't money to do it. So you know what? I'm glad you got to see both sides, right? Thanks, Yana.
Thank you. That's why I appreciated it so much more.
And Mayor Rios.
Aye. Okay. Can I continue in the public hearing, or do I have to close item 16 before 17? That was it? Okay. So now we're on, no, hold on, let me make sure I got. Seven, right. Okay, so item number 17, that's what I was asking, is it a public hearing? That's what, can I continue, or do I have to close it, separate? Okay, so I'll go ahead and close, the public hearing for item number 16. However, open it again for item number 17. Now is the time for public hearing to consider resolution number 24-29, approving the Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership Program, fiscal year 24-25, and authorizing the city manager to execute and transmit all required documents to United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. Public hearing is now open. City Clerk?
Yes, Mayor, members of the City Council. The availability of the draft annual plan was published in the Norwalk Patriot and La Opinion and posted at City Hall and the city's website from March 25th to April 25th for citizens to review and make any comments. The notice of the public hearing for this evening was published in the Norwalk Patriot and again in La Opinion and posted at the City Hall and city's website on May 17th, and we have received no communications.
Okay, thank you. Staff report, please.
Yes, Mayor Rios, members of City Council, Mr. John Ramirez will present.
Thank you, Jesus. Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. I wanted to present to you our proposed annual action plan for this coming fiscal year. This is the final public hearing for this item. You'll note that it's a little bit later this year than years past, and that was a result of a delay in receiving our final funding numbers from HUD. So we received those recently, and they were actually 5% less than what we originally anticipated. So the focus of today will be talking about the categories of funding, but also showing the difference from our original proposed social services allocations and our funding, and then look to the council for guidance on how, if there's a desire to fill that gap, we have options to provide. And it'll make more sense once I bring up some of the slides, if my clicker works. Oh, thank you. Okay. So every year the city receives CDBG and home funding from the federal government, and we look to the council to guide us in the allocation of this funding for the benefit of the community and also in a manner consistent with the goals and guidelines from HUD. This year, our CDBG funding allocation, the entitlement amount, which is the new amount that we'll be receiving, is just about $980,000. We have expected program income and carryover income from prior years of $230,000. So our total amount for our CDBG funding will be $1.2 million. For our home funds, we're expecting just a little bit over $240,000, and we expect to carry over and program income of $265,000. So that gives us just over $500,000 for this coming fiscal year. Every year we work with our social services partners, and we allocate a maximum of 15% of the CDBG entitlement for a variety of social services support throughout the community. This year, that 15% cap is based on the $977,000. And we partnered with Gabriella and her team in identifying funding amounts and the appropriate service agency partners that we're going to be funding this year. And on this slide, you'll see the social services agencies to be funded. And then the first column with the dollar amounts is what we had originally proposed at our last public hearing. And that was based on a little bit of a 5% increase in the actual entitlement that we're receiving. So you'll see $75,000 for social services, emergency services, and then 21,000 and change for community legal aid, and then for job training for Norwalk Lomrat Adult School, Hoviness, and Lakota, $20,000 each. So because we have an adjusted funding amount, it's almost a $10,000 difference. We maintain the emergency services amount of $75,000. That is a very unique opportunity and resource for the community when they're in their most dire moment. And Gabriella's staff is at the heart of that and uses that money immediately to support families and others who might be having challenges financially and they need a place to stay, or they need some shelter for the night, or they need some other help with their utilities if their utilities are in fear of being shut off. So that amount we're recommending it be maintained at $75,000. And then for the remainder, we're doing a small adjustment of about 5% each to spread that adjustment. So it's about $2,500 a reduction for each particular agency, and the total amount that's being adjusted is $9,767. One option, as we're talking about this, if it's the council's desire, is to look at an alternative funding to make those service providers whole. If there's an option that you wanted to contemplate, we can either move forward with as it's proposed, or we can supplement it with a general fund or other appropriate funding source. So I just wanted to share that as an option because I know how important these services are to the community.
I have a quick question. Probably makes more sense to go to Gabby. When you see these adjusted funding amounts, do you think those reductions are going to seriously negatively impact the people getting the money?
No, Vice Mayor Ayala, I think the adjustments are good because legal aid is probably the one that we lean on the heaviest right now. So I think that it was pretty much done well.
Because, I'm thinking as if, to me, it seems like the reductions are almost inconsequential, but if somehow we get like to mid-year, and somehow this ended up being a big impact, I wouldn't really want to go to the general fund until there was some demonstration that there was an impact that we needed to, to fix, adjust, or whatever. So my colleagues agree that's what I would like to see us do, even though I can't anticipate that would happen. But at least we leave the door open that, if it does happen, then we can consider it at mid-year. If everybody agree?
Yeah.
That the reductions are not consequential, but if it turns out that they are, then we'll consider it in mid-year instead of committee general fund like now. We just wait till mid-year.
Okay. So, thank you, Vice Mayor. So we could do an updated evaluation at mid-year and see where we are. Great. Thank you. So moving on, as I mentioned previously, the annual action plan, it does detail the specific activities to be implemented for the community needs and priorities for the upcoming year, and it's in a manner consistent with the 5-year consolidated plan. We have to meet federal priorities and national objectives, and part of the council's role in this effort is to identify funding amounts for each activity, which we are recommending to you tonight. and then summarize the outcome and of each activity, and we report on those outcomes throughout the year. So for the next slide, I'd like to do a review of the overall CDBG funding. So this is the 1.2 million. So it includes the entitlement funding of about $977,000, along with the program income and carryover. So a portion of that, 20% maximum, is for staffing and administration. The Fair Housing Foundation, we provided 20% cap. And then you can see on the emergency services, the slide we just reviewed, community legal aid, job training, homelessness, LACADA. Two items that we are looking at in the forthcoming year is a capital improvement project, so street improvement, handicap accessibility upgrades. The project's to be determined, and that'll come back before the council for consideration before it's identified. And then also economic development activities. These activities could include a site-specific rehab project or direct economic assistance for a business in the city. And part of the requirement for receiving aid would be the creation of jobs. And that particular project hasn't been identified specifically and has not been brought to the council for consideration yet. But those would be presented to the council in some way. It may not be a formal public hearing, but to obtain guidance and recommendation on those. So the total comes to 1.2 million. For the home program, we have just over $500,000, and that includes the program administration and then Community Housing Development Organization, or CHODO, funding amount. And then we provide tenant-based rental assistance, which is a security deposit, and then a yet-to-be specified affordable housing project. So the great thing about these categories is we allocate the intent of the funds, but the specific project is to be determined. So that helps us expedite when we identify a project. We can work with the council and staff and identify a project, but not have to do any amendments to the annual action plan. So these amounts, they do reflect the final HUD funding amounts, which is the 5% reduction from the prior public hearing that we had. And the city council can modify or cancel the funding, but we can't add any activities without an additional 30-day notice. And we can always do a substantial amendment if a particular priority warrants it throughout the plan year. I'm not going to read all of this, but the gist is that we engage in a robust citizen participation plan that's consistent with the HUD requirements, but then also above and beyond, because we have a very strong social media platform where we promote all of our activities. And so we are conducting, this is our second public hearing, and we're making sure that we're engaged with the Social Services Commission, and we've done all of our public noticing as needed for this plan. So with that, I would recommend, along with staff, to the council to adopt the resolution approving the annual action plan and the funding sources, as well as the funding categories, and authorize the city manager to execute these agreements and any amendments, and authorize the director of community development to execute MOU with city departments and homeless referral agencies for the services recommended to be funded under this plan. With that, we're available for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone wishing to speak on this item? Do we know Teresa? No, okay, so we'll bring it back to the council for any questions or discussion.
Move it.
Second? Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilmembers Perez.
Aye.
Valencia. Aye. Vice Mayor Ayala.
Aye.
Mayor Rios.
Aye. We're now moving on. Okay, so that portion of the public hearing is closed. Now moving on to our oral communications. Do I have any speaker cards? No speaker cards this evening. Okay, so with that, I wish everyone a safe and wonderful evening and rest of your week. Meeting is adjourned.